All right, so purpose of this video here is to kind of update you on everything about the RockBot. A lot of new people, not a lot of new members, and the RockBot's been chugging along for a few years now, just having the latest updates and stuff. But I wanted to update people on the uses of it, how to set the parameters properly, understanding what the RockBot is meant to do, and maybe other questions that we might get. I'll do this live with you on the air, but I'll also record it. I think it's a good start-off place for people who are members. And again, the RockBot is a tool we use to identify what we call super signals and other things, bull and bear, 2020 bull flags, basically any of the playbook trades that I use as the methodology. The higher probability zones that we identify, the lower trend line stochastic rotation, the coil stochastic divergence, all the combination and confluences of these indicators all lining up or give us high probability zones, and we know how well they work because we identify them every single day. And there's certain ones that I really pay attention to, and I call those the super signals, and that's usually a quad rotation and a divergence, or a combination of things that all lead to that. Usually the quad rotation is a big part of it, and because that gives us the bigger time frame move, and that's when we get our big moves. So the RockBot is a tool that we have at Day Trading Radio, and basically because of the methodology and stuff, I programmed the NinjaTrader script over a year of learning how to do this, and kind of just taking it one step at a time, and building the methodology into the script, or basically building the super signal, what I really felt was the go-to trade. And I did this years ago because I did not want to miss the trade. I am so confident, and so the light bulb went off and said, this is the key to trading. The key to trading is waiting for the setup that typically always works. You just have to be in front of it and manage the trade, understand the current conditions around it. But half the work is done for us. Half the work is done for us, and only the big moves come. And we could always identify those big moves because we do it every day. Every day we know that when we get a big move out of a wedge pattern, it's usually a coiled. Here it was a coiled quad coil. And then we had our small divergences and our bull and bear flags. Not many setups to wait for. And when we get them, we get them. So I understood that. I understand it now, that sometimes I want to be here. And I said, I just need to, we might have a little news. Now today, just to kind of go into, someone asked me a good question. Do I take divergences into like a Fed comments and stuff? And I would say, absolutely. The news that comes out, it's not really good to have your trade on as the news comes out, because then it gets whippy and you could probably hit your stop and stuff. But after the news has hit, and if a divergence is left in the wake of the news, that is usually a fantastic entry. And that's where we see divergences, when there's news or kind of something that shocks the market, and you kind of get a reaction, but internally the reaction is telling us something different. That's where we're seeing the momentum shift back up when we have that higher low, and the market spiked lower, but the internals didn't spike lower, and the internals picked right back up, and we could see that with our stochastics making that higher low versus the price making lower low. So that's a tell. We need those. We need that news to kind of give us that excitement in the market, so we could see through the boringness of it, and all of a sudden it's kind of it shows itself when a spike of volume or some news comes out. It shows you what it wants to do, really. So we wait for that. So I really truly believe that that's the key to trading, is to really not trade unless you have that setup, and I didn't want to miss that. So I basically programmed that, and so I'd put it on my laptop and it would talk. I had this guy talking on it. It was a RockBot guy, deep voice. Johnny, get your ass off the bed. There's a divergence. So basically it would wake me up, and I would be able to look at, because I was seeing a lot of divergences around 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, even though that's not my time. I'm a night bird, and that's like morning hours. I like to stay up to about 2 o'clock, and I'm not going to be up at 3 or 4 o'clock. So that's I'm no way going to get up there. So I set this alarm next to my bed, and I wanted to be able to, take at least, if there was a good divergence, it would wake me up. I had to hear it. I had an alarm on, and then put it right next to the bed. And in about a week doing that, I got kicked out of the bedroom. So I had to stop that. But I did. That was the reason I built the the RockBot script, and learning that the script could actually take trades was kind of an interesting thing. All right, everyone loves automated trades. Let's just put it on, go to bed, and wake up with $1,000. It doesn't work that way, and the markets are are full of scripts, full of algorithms that are trading, and they know and you have news and program trading. It doesn't work that way. So I like to use the scripts like we use today. If we look back at this, this is running the. Let me get rid of the other chart here so you can see it. Now this is running the Super Signal script. Now I made a few different scripts. I made the regular Thunderbird. I'm probably jumping all over the place here, but just know that if you're interested in the bot, you could run it on your own machine if you have the membership here at Day Trading Radio. But you also get the RockBot, so I'm kind of showing you how this works, and if you're going to use it, this is how you use it. And I want to, again, there's so much to go over here. First of all, let me jump back here for a second, just a second. All right, if you go to Day Trading Radio website, you can scroll down. This is what you get the RockBot on. You have to be on the $99 monthly package. That's the RockBot. Or anything, the 3-month, yearly, lifetime. The basic monthly is just the basic. That doesn't give you the scripts. It's just too hard. So if you're a member, you log in. You can also get it if you're not a member over on the Patreon site at daytradingradio.com. Patreon.com/daytradingradio. That's patreon.com/daytradingradio. So you get on here, and then down in the bottom right-hand corner of your dashboard, you should see, let me zoom here, you'll see, sorry for this, it's kind of getting the mirror effect here. All the way down the right-hand corner, you'll see RockBot. So you click on the RockBot add-on section there, and that area, and you could probably click on that anyway. There's a couple links on the page. It tells you all about the RockBot. A little introductory video here. And again, what is the RockBot? I kind of go into that. Basically, I talk about and what you could trade with it. You could trade all futures. You could trade stocks. You could put anything that you have on NinjaTrader. You could trade NinjaTrader on whatever your feed is, and whatever your broker is that you connect to NinjaTrader. You could trade stocks, so you could run these divergences. With the scripts, you get these scripts. You get the RockBot Divergence Thunderbird script. Now, these are combined now. So these are, you don't get the 1 minute and the 5 minute. You get the Thunderbird buy script and the Thunderbird sell script. They're mostly the same thing, but when I first developed them, I was keeping them separate, so I was running them on all separate charts, but it was just, I didn't have to do that. I could run the same one on different charts and just name the chart different. So the Thunderbird scripts, the one Thunderbird buy script is just applied to any time frame and it'll work. And that's the original divergent script. The bull flag is our 2020 bull flag and the 2020 bear flag, and you see us go over that all the time on the show and how well that works. So it's important to, just to kind of identify it for you. You don't have to take these trades. I would recommend putting the bot on a sim account and let it identify the trades, and then you on your account take the trades if you agree with the setups or the markets are stable, the trend is right, and the other conditions are met, because that's the important part of this. So you could do all this with it now. You could order enter, long short mode. You could profit goals. Some videos on how to set it up, and that's what it kind of looks like here. But you can see that on the site. It'll put in your orders. It'll enter you put your stops in, your things. The other thing I want to kind of show you on this. So if you are, and this is where you're going to get the code. You're going to click on this right here. and you're going to go to RockBot folder here. And then click on the RockBot folder and go to my latest RockBot latest version. And then Super Signal by 23. These are the two. This is a group of scripts. This has the flags in it. It has the Thunderbirds and the flags. And this has the Super Signal, and it has the quad rotation indicator. The quad rotation indicator is separate than the Super Signal too, so you get that also. So that's where you would download those and then import them into your NinjaTrader. And you send me your machine ID, and then I activate it. So that's how you that's how you upload everything. And now we're going to just talk about those scripts in general. So right now I tend to run the scripts. All right, here's your NinjaTrader platform. And when you upload your scripts to the platform, you're going to find the scripts up here in your strategies. And then you should have them right over here. And you're going to have, because these are my scripts that I'm building, I'm using, there's quite a few more different ones on here. I made a quad Bitcoin script, which I'm testing right now. So you have the flag. So you're going to have the RockBot bear flag. You're going to have the RockBot bull flag. You're going to have the quad rotation trail 60. And you're going to have the Super Signal 23. And then you're going to have the Thunderbird buy and the Thunderbird 23 buy and a Thunderbird 23 short. And those you'll have all those scripts. And when you want to activate one, like I have them all activated here, these are the ones I have activated, you drag it down. And now we're going to talk about the important part of the script, trading with bots. Before we get into the parameters here, how we change the parameters. Oh, Jace, yeah. You have to please send me your machine ID, and I'll get you set right up. That might be partially my fault because I should have those instructions in the welcome email for anybody who has that membership tier. And I don't know if it has. I thought I had it on there. I'm gonna review it. Maybe it got by you. Anyway, the bot. What is a bot? What is a trading bot? Takes a trade, basically an automated trading system, identifies under your, the criteria that you set forth and program into it. It'll take the trades. In this case, you could set different parameters to follow it up with a trailing stop, put different targets on here, which are just made up by you or whoever has it. There's no automatic target being placed. Like, all right, you're going to set it and then it'll be automatic. But in the first time, you want to really set your parameters based on what market's conditions are at that point. What I mean by that is this is going to do a great job of identifying the signals. All right, the signals we've really measured out, like the timing, the proper setup, and even the divergence formula that I use here is a little better than, it's not just a normal divergence thing. I added a lot of things to this. I'll show it to you. I'll give you a quick look at it, which I think is that's the secret formula to make sure these just don't roll over us. Like, why isn't it taking it here and rolling over us? Most of the time we're getting that turned back up. So what I did is I did a lot of testing, a lot of backstabbing, and constantly, because it wasn't that great at scripting this, I would have to go in there internally, change just little numbers here and there, and I was plotting everything. It was pretty intense. I felt like a scientist that was taking the results and stuff, and I was timing it. I was wondering, and I want to show you what I did here. Let me see here where it goes. I want to go to NinjaScript Editor. Now we're going to try to get this formula transferred over to the TradingView platform. And I know that's been a kind of a sticking point. I would love to get that transferred over to that. All right, so we're going to go to Strategies. And then we're going to go to These are all my different strategies I'm working on. Let's go to Super Signal Quad 23. All right. I'm looking at the all right, so part of the formula that I was working here, I'm using, you see I'm using the 9, 3, 14, 3, 44, and 60, 10 as my quads. But I'm also using something that's called, let me see where it is here. Well, I'm using a zigzag, the zigzag indicator. Where's my slope indicator? Here we go, down here. And there's some other things here. So here with the stochastics and the rotation and comparing it from each, I'm comparing the stochastics, each previous price and level of the stochastics compared to the price and level of the price of the candle. And then there is a step up where I'm stepping up. The current reading of the D has to be higher than 2 periods before that. So that what that means is we're going to have a slope here. And I do have a slope on the other section there. So a lot goes into this. So I'm making sure that we have that rotation up on our stochastics here before we get in. We don't want to just get flat lined out and blown out. So we usually when we get a quad rotation the first time, and I tell you, all I could do is win. Said this the other day, you know, I don't know if he's in the room or not, and he was doing really, he's like qualified on like a lot of accounts or just qualified, and he says, well, people are saying, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm just waiting, I'm taking the quad rotation, and I'm waiting for the 9-3 to start turning up and get back over 20. I said, that's all, yeah, I said, that's it, that's the key right there. Why make things more complicated than this? But that's exactly what the script is doing. It's making sure the trend, the slope is higher and moving higher. It's not just giving us a divergence down here. That's why we tend to get that momentum starting to shift on that. So that was very important. So we are going to get a shift. Now, when we have a script and you're getting that bounce, but the downward pressure is really hard, you're still going to get little bounces, but you're going to get rollovers. And that's the hardest spot, the hardest point of trading, is because, you know, free fall is a free fall, you know, and you're not going to hit your targets. You're not going to hit. So right now we have, this is set perfect. We get in 4 ticks, at least 4 ticks to the upside. Trailing stop gets set up there, and eventually just, you know, trails it up, and we don't have to worry about the downside. So that's working really well. The other thing I would do here, and if you wanted it to. And I started programming this, and I actually have a version of this. It's called a safety net. I don't know if anybody ever remembers me talking about the safety net. So the safety net trade, and let me see. I want to see if I could run that script. If that script runs, I haven't used it in a year. But what it would do, it would take the trade off on the first rotation of the 9-3. It was called the safety net trade. And I was working, but then I got, you know, then I moved on, and I said that, you know, the quad rotation was perfect. It was basically the thing I wanted to do, and all, you know, even a perfect script that I like will get run over sometimes because of the, you know, just the pressure in the market or the news in the market or whatever, the extensions, you know, the volume. You know, you can't, it can't read that. It's not able to read that. So what you need to do is you need to use this like you know, when people are qualifying, this is how they're qualifying. They're letting this thing get you in, and then they manage it. And that works good with the prop accounts too. They say you can't put automated trading on prop accounts. They're just saying that. But they will allow you to have an order entry get you in, and you manage to stop. They don't allow set it and forget it. So it could get you in, no problem. You know, and then you know, it'll place your order in, and then you adjust the trailing stop by the market condition. And it's very easy to see that. And I've taught this. This has been a focus of our teaching over the last 2 months is that rotation of that 9-3 and having that 60-10 down here. That 60-10 down on the base here, under 50, closer to 20, under 20. Every time that is down basing out here, every rotation back above 20 on the 9-3 should be shorted into, or your profit should be taken if you have a long. And that is game over. You're not worried about anything else. That is just a rule. Stochastic 60s really kind of down here, having a hard time. Every rotation's getting sold into. You get oversold. Rotation up, pulled back. Rotation up, pulled back. Some of them go a little bit further, but when those go further, it's usually because we have a rotation on the 60-10. And if that 60-10 is above 30, 40 and starts rotating up, then you have a reason to hold on. So the BOD here is really, it's about identifying the setup, but the setup doesn't mean that's the perfect setup at the perfect time. It could get squashed very easily. And overnight, lack of volume. I'm trying to find. All right, so that's that. Let's see if there was any flags here. I thought I have all 4 of these going here. Look at this. Look at the entries on this though. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. 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 This one kind of broke down through it. But, I would say all of them here pretty much took their first profit. Here's a flag right here. So, our flag setup is basically, you have an embedded stochastic. We talk about it all the time. Embedded stochastic, fast rotation under 20. Whole price above 20. Trigger, off to the races, and we take profits. So, these are fantastic tools. This is the only trade you should be taking. I mean, that's the key, and that's why, you have to really understand there's, the RockBot is not meant to just turn on and go to bed. It won't work that way. You have to understand the markets overnight are not strong enough. They could be trending and not even pay attention to anything. There's no range. But keep it running. See what it brings you. Analyze the market. If you want to keep the trade in here, adjust your stops on it. Can you show the time frame as well? Can't see it. Pedro, what? One more time, we're going to go over this. You have a chart on the Ninja Trader. Right now, I'll kind of go over it. You just have to ask me what parameters that we're having on the BOD in the day, and I always show them to you. This is the 1 minute time frame. If you run say you're going to run the super signal on the 1 minute time frame, which has been working really good. You're going to go to strategies. You're going to go to super signal, quad, pull it down. And then over here, this is defaulted to these numbers. So you want to change that. I might even change it and put out a new update and then have it defaulted to 2. I have a default, now I have it at 2. I keep everything else the same pretty much. Start this trailing start ticked at 1. Now if you want to follow it up tighter with the trailing stop, this is where you would, it's following up 8 ticks, 2 points, it's following it up. You want to tighten that up, you make that smaller. Make sure your signal bar low is not on it. Put it on ticks. Put it on ticks. That seems to be working pretty good. I don't know what that was on. Let me see. I don't know what that is on. All right, so I put it on this. That's going to it's going to backfill the setups. So there you go. That's the ones we just looked at before. And that's, we have to always make sure it backfills those. That way it tells you if it's running or not. Now if you wanted to run another script, You just drop the other one down. Sometimes I think the bull flag is a great one to just manage. Now, if you put that bull flag on, you could probably keep the parameters as it is. Maybe get a little bit more room. This is real tight. Now, this is a little different. This is only taking 3 contracts will make it 5 contracts. And then take profits after 1 point. I want to make that 3 ticks. Stop loss is going to come in at 8 here. And then trailing start ticks, we're going to do that at 1. And then we're going to follow it up by... We'll do it by 8. And then how many profits are we going to take? How many contracts? 5. So we're going to take 2, 3. So whenever you take profits there's going to be left 2 over. Whatever this lot is, that's how many contracts. Then take profit lot on your first profit, and then anything left over is going to be controlled by the trailing stop. So if you have this as there's 5 contracts, they're going to go in. They're going to go in. They're going to take profit. 3 is going to come off after 3 contracts. The rest, the last 2, are going to be managed by the trailing stop right here, followed by 8 ticks. Why is that like that? Keep on. Let me see what that is. All right. Oh, you didn't see the parameters? Sorry. We saw them. Sorry, if I didn't show the parameters before, I'm sorry. Not watching my broadcast stream there. But that's it. That's the parameters. 4 to 15. We could actually make... Well, that's on the super signal. The flag is here. Let's turn off the flag. I gotta turn that off again. Now I'm getting all confused here. All right, here's the flag parameters: 3818153. Super signals on. 2. All right, now they're all on. Now, the other things we'll look at here, someone asked me if we could just put the super signal on there. I mean, the quad rotation, just identify quad rotations. And yes, I could do that. You should have that script also. So if you go to, you're actually going to go to strategies. You're going to go to quad rotation trail 60. Don't ask me why. I just left that name because I was doing some tests on it, and finally I got something that was really working good, so I just kept it the name. I said I'm not going to mess with it. But you have to enable it. I just don't have any. You don't have to put any price or anything. You just have to enable it. And what it's going to do is mark off. It's just going to mark off. You actually can take this off down here because I have my quad rotation. Some of the stochastics working down here. I don't know why I have that on there. And then you can zoom out, and you'll see the blue line. And that's basically, you could tell that there was, these blue lines are going to show up where the other blue lines were too. But at one point you'll see that every oversold level here on this day, on this, let me get rid of this, if I could maybe get rid of this. I can't remove it because it's associated, but I thought I could hide it. I think I have to hide it in the script. I'll just close it off like that. So you're getting the quad rotation because of because that was also quad rotation with the signals. But you should see here, like right here, there was no divergence here, but it was a quad rotation. So you see the difference? So the super signal is the quad rotation divergence. The quad rotation trail 60 is just the quad rotation divergence. Quad rotation divergence. Just a quad rotation. And again, you can see these down here as they all come down. Just a quad rotation divergence. So you see the difference on that. And again, lots of times you could capture all this. If you set your parameters higher, this is something you have to realize, depending on what divergence it is. This is a real nice one. Super signal long. That was a nice divergence, high level divergence, starting to turn back up. You want to give this more room to run, So again, taking control of your own parameters, moving your stop up there, moving your profit areas up, seeing what's going on with the internals. That's how you're going to manage your trade. Every trade needs to be, taken care of. Last day. So now we're going to look at the different time frames on the bot. So good, like I said, the super signal is the best thing out there. If we put those on the 1 minute, I like them on the 3 minute time frame. It doesn't give you as many setups, but the setups, again, 3 minute candles or 3 minute candles. So typically when we get a divergence, we're looking for 5 to 7 periods of the setup. Oh, let me see. I want to take off that one that's confusing. Let's move the quad rotation 60 off. Apply. Remove. And I don't really use the super signal flag only on the 1 minute time frame because it's programmed with the 1 and the 5, so has no testing done on any other time frame. So don't use proceed with caution if you're going to run the flag on a different time frame. We'll see what it looks like on this. So again, you did have a little pop up to the 50 here. Here again, good 3 minute time frame, little divergence. 3 minutes, I like the 3 minute a lot. Again, you can see the whole day went through. It was one at 8:30, and there was one here at 2:30. So this really cuts your trading down a lot. What happened? Live action. There's a little bull flag right here, and that's the fast rotation bull flag. It just triggered on my screen. I don't know. I had the volume off. Now, of course, there's no volume on this trade at all. This is not where you take flags. I just forgot to turn it on. I just left it on. So we'll let it play out. I have a stop there. We'll just see what happens. But this is not a time to use the flags. The flags are for trending markets. If you recognize a trending market, that's a great time to use the flag, a bull flag or a bear flag. What I mean with trending market, we're trading above. We're not chopping around the VWAP. We're not chopping around the 200. We're definitely trading above those levels, and you feel the strength. You have a trend line underneath us. Then turn on that and see if you have any flags set up. So at least you don't. And I think I actually could add. What I like to add to the RockBot is a file that you put on your computer. It's going to call the file, so you could put an alert on there, so it gives you your own alert. Instead of just entering, it'll maybe give you, sometimes the RockBot could get crossed up. A couple things, if there's a long and a short, you could get both of them, and then you have orders that are being taken off or hit. But you you can get a short and long at the same time. Which is valid because you just haven't hit your target yet. You know, it's usually not going to happen at the same time. It's going to happen, and the market's going to move, and then it's going to move another way, and maybe the short will set up, and they'll both be in the trade at the same time, which sometimes works out great. You know, hit one, and then it reverses, it hits the other. I don't find any reason not to take it, let it take it. Ping guy, no, it's set up to take the trade. It just took the trade right here, as you can see. Just got triggered into a bull flag, and so yeah, it's fully operational. I don't advise it because I don't, you know, I feel like it's better to control and not, you know, understand the market conditions around the setups. So it'll automatically get you in. It'll automatically get you out based on the parameters you set and the trailing stops. So it's all on. The flag will always give you a green arrow, a green line representing the flag, just to kind of, and then it will. The next one comes up, it'll be there. The old flags won't have a green line on it. What else do we have? We're going to show you something else. Oh, I was going to show you different time frames. So, 300 tick we use a lot on the super signal.
Order canceled.
Order
canceled.
Happened? What just happened? Did it just cancel because I went off a different chart? It just popped. I think my chart.
Order submitted.
Yeah.
Order filled.
Good flag there. I think I broke it. That was a good flag. Let me see where it is. Oh, here it is. I think because I switched over. All right, so what we were talking about, the tick chart here, 300 tick chart. Excellent. When it wants to be excellent, it's spot on. I don't think it was spot on today. Let me take a look at the. Let's take a look at this a bit. So I'm gonna. All right, bull flag, super signal. Now, we're not running the bull flag on the 300 tick, so I'm actually going to just disable that right now. Apply. Okay. That was a nice flag, huh? Wow, nice. All right, so here's the, and again, the tick is basically how many, you have to have 300 transactions go through before a candle is made. So the candle is based off of trades or price change. And it doesn't really work overnight because it's just lack of volume. There's no trades overnight, so it's really active during the day, and it usually gives us really good entries. So I like to have that as one of our trades. Look at that. Look at the entry on that, and it took it all the way up to the top here. Another good entry. Could have probably taken it all the way too. I mean, these come back and hit the stops because the stops are really, really tight. Again, it's not about, you know, letting the trade, but identifying the trade, and then you trade with it, you know, because sometimes you could get choppy down here. Like, got in here, then pulled back, then bounced. Trailing stop came in here instead of going higher. That happens. But most of the time, we are very close to the bottom. on that tick chart. You see this? I mean, look at this. All on the bottoms. A couple. On the tick chart, you'll get different trades on the MES and the ES. Sometimes you won't get any trades on the ES, and you'll get trades on the MES. Again, different amount of trades, different candles will be different timing. But the 300 tick is really good. The 5-minute time frame, again, the same thing. Not it's going to be even. You know, we had one back here at 2:30. I think that was the good one. And that was probably it all day. So maybe 1 or 2 a day if you're lucky on the 5-minute. But it's okay to keep running. When you do get it, usually gets a nice bigger move. That was the last one. It was like, wow, back here at 8 o'clock. You get a lot of these at 8 o'clock, and they really define the bottom. But again, that's the 5-minute. So the 5-minute, 3-minute, 1 minute, and the 300 tick are the ones. I've done some testing on the 1000 volume, and it seems to work pretty good. You can see here. And again, it's working on a quad rotation divergence. So it's looking for that higher rotation, which we do see there. Low, higher low, 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 lower low, higher low, divergence, little pop, little divergence, little pop. Little divergence, little pop. So I find some good results on the 1000 volume chart a lot. So you might want to experiment with that. You can see that pop, pop, pop. This you could just have to capture this. You guys think of a better way of capturing these longer levels? Definitely, send me an email and work on a strategy of catching these all these things without just hoping your trailing stop is just going to be set perfect. Because even here, this was the bottom. All these are bottoms. And again, the market is famous for coming back and capturing these trailing stops. Now, if you probably took these, and again, I have another script I'm going to try running after. It's called a safety net script, and it just takes it off after your rotation. But that's the 1000 volume. So we have a couple time frames. Now, the 1 minute is the exciting one. It's the one we pay attention to on the show. It's because what would we be doing there? We'd be falling asleep, right? So I do put the 1 minute time frame on and kind of take advantage of that if we do see divergences. Everything starts at the smaller time frames. So one is, 1 to 300 tick. I mean, these are good time frames even to catch big reversals. So this all starts here small. And if you get a good small and a good, medium, like a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute divergence, these are the ones you want to really load up on an ES and really do all you can to get qualified on those days. Ping guy, like I said, there's risks of running things overnight, not making sure your prices don't jump your parameters, the glitches don't happen on the program. Sometimes I'll see that a stop will be left hanging on or there'll be an order left out there, and if it comes back and it hits that order, it'll go automatically short with no stops or anything. It's just, you have to make sure, definitely test it, run it on sim. But remember, the biggest thing is confirmation of a quad rotation divergence. Probably the most important thing is the future trade alert signals, because that's where I really want to make sure people are getting those trades in. That's a special shout out to those trades. 5 minute divergence, 1 minute quad super signals. These are the things you want to be in, and just let them run. The time you will get these trades. You will get them, and you just have the patience. And what you do between when we get them set up and we send them out to to the next one. What you do in between that is going to determine how successful you are. See, with the back testing, I could take any script and back test it and put my parameters in there to make it work the best. And say, oh, this look, it never missed a trade, but my stop was also, 100 ticks, and eventually worked out. You have to be very careful on back testing. And back testing, depending on some of these you shouldn't take. It's not going to read what your 60-10 stochastic might be oversold, and we get a fast rotation. And if that fast rotation gets up there before the price hits its first, you probably get a little move. But if it doesn't get up there and hit your target that you defined for it, and you want to be able to take that off on the rotation. Every time you get that rotation, you want to probably say, all right, that's more of a bear flag, trends down, I want to take it off. Well, your target might be 2 ticks above that. You have your decision. Oh, I want to. And the next thing you know, it drops 2 ticks, and then you're like, and then you're underwater again. And that's how easy it is to fail. Is not being on top of your trade constantly, understanding what's going on with it. This is an expert's game. So easy to try to take a shortcut. Really comes down to the discipline and understand. There's no holy grail. You're not going to get a perfect setup. You're going to get tools to help you identify it. When it comes down to it, understanding markets in general, and seeing this. Look at this. I mean, when you have a divergence and you see that divergence work out 90% of the time when it's a good divergence, classic good divergence, lower low, very organized, perfect divergence, versus the topping, real tough divergence. Like, is that a divergence? I think I'm going to take that. It looks like, when you have a good setup on a 3-minute, 5-minute, and a 1-minute, these things go 20, 30 points. Those are the ones you have to be ready for. What it comes down to is not missing the trade, not missing the good trade, and that's what these tools are for. Not for a constant, automated trading, but identify not to miss a trade setup. All right, so we're going to bring up our strategy analyzer, which I really don't use too much because I know that they're so manipulated. But they do give you an option to kind of analyze the strategy that you're running. Give you back test it, show you what it would have done if you had the parameters set a certain way. So we're going to put this on back test. We're going to put it on the super signal 23 quad strategy super signal. And then I'll just keep these. I will change this to 8 here. I'll change that to 1. That's what I typically use. I'll leave everything as it is. I'll even close this up a little, which I usually like the 4, 2, 15 trailing bar. And this, again, this is just the default. But I'm just going to show you an example. Well, what are we going to do? Let's do it on the ES here. 1 minute time frame. And what is today? July. Today's the 9th. Now, I just want to see if this is running here. ES. Oh, that's not that bad. Well, I was thinking maybe we get different results on that, but that's pretty good results. That's on the ES 1 minute running the running this 68%. Percentage is not not 100%, but let's take a look at this. That's at these parameters right here. Running on the 1 minute, that's just the super signal quad 23. The one thing I was going to show you to adjust these, you could kind of manipulate these a bit, but it doesn't have to manipulate this if you wanted to make it look better. It's hard to do that. But what I would do is, take your positions off here on the first tick, and then instead of taking profits on number 2, put 0 in there. That means you don't have a second profit, and the whole trade is going to be followed by a trailing stop. So if you get an explosive move higher, you won't get taken out. You'll just be, you won't get taken out. So this is kind of sometimes I'll put a 0 down here. How many contracts? 5. First target 1 point, 3 come out. That means 2 is left on, and the 2 will be controlled by this trailing stop, which is 8 ticks. So let's see if that changes things. Not really. 64, not really. But I thought it was, I didn't think it was going to get as much any better, because that's a pretty good return right there. But if it wasn't doing, that's something that you want to do is kind of put a 0 in here, and that will give you a much better runner instead of being stopped out in your next profit zone. If your profit gets hit, maybe you catch some good news. You get some good news. Sometimes I would take this off, put this at 0 if you're doing like the divergence or a super signal into some news. Taking that risk. Maybe you're going to get triggered into it, and it's going to pop really hard. You don't want to just get popped out of it and take profits. You want to give it a shot to follow it up real tight. Now we could adjust these parameters and see if there's any better setup there, which I don't think there will be. No, it actually kind of goes down a little. So that's not bad. That's not bad. That's on the 1 minute time frame. Let's see what happens. So the market here giving us a little possible divergence here. Let's take a little shot on this. Let's bring up the chart. Took a little short on that. I put my parameters already in. So we're working on a new trade parameters. Actually, it could be a bull flag here, but it's kind of under the 80 there. I'll give it a shot. Could be a flag. What else are we going to do? Talk about the bot. Again, I do have some scripts running on it also, so if it does trigger on the scripts, that should be interesting too. Now the update on the trading view, we have the indicator done just about. I was testing it out today a bit, but we're going to try to get the strategy done. I was actually going to work on that tonight with you guys. And what time is it? It's only 8:30. It's only 8:15. I thought it was like past 9. That's great. I think I might work on this. All right, so we're going to work on that together. And maybe get a little trade in here and there. Looks like there could be a little divergence, a little pop. We never really turned back up. We'll see. We'll see what happens at this point. But that was a little update on the RockBot, how to use it, some of the parameters. Probably left a lot of stuff out. But let me see before I even forget. Let me see if I have that trailing my safety net one. Where would I find that? Maybe I have it here. You might actually see it programmed here. Called the safety net. So I could just grab it. Safety? How did I spell that? Safety net? Did I spell it like that? Safety. Find. I don't see anything. Safety net here. See that? I'm not running a safety net, but that is right there. That's my safety net script right here. Exit long. Sold due to the safety net. Super signal long. I'm going to have to rebuild that. That was on my set 4. Alright. I still have it. I wonder if I have it here. Activated somewhere. We did, I did have the trading view script kind of built into an indicator. Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen. Let's put it on the NASDAQ futures. So you'll see the triangles represent the divergences. So yellow triangles, sell divergence, white divergence, and again, it's not perfect because it's not really counting a quad rotation because we'd only have one quad here. So, but this was a nice divergence though, because it is a good running divergence. It actually is. I remember this setup. I do remember this setup. Let me move this over. I'm going to get used to this trading view chart. Get used to it a little bit better. I'll start using it more. So you had that low, low, and lower low. You had the low, higher low, and higher low. And that was really it right there. And that was the low too. And then you had to look at that nice, that caught that nice low down here. Pretty good here. Pretty good. I mean, that's on the 3-minute time frame. Let's put it on the 5-minute time frame. Again, I would love to see the entry and exits on this. How do we get back to the? How do we like square this up? Again, I don't use it too much, so that's why I'm having a hard time. All right, that's where we are right now. Yeah, I was seeing that little divergence there. Actually, not bad. Not bad. It came up with that little divergence I was spotting right here. There was a little divergence here. It didn't really hook onto anything. It didn't turn over. It actually moved back just a bit, rotated back up. So that's kind of where we are right now. So I want to do a little work right now. We're going to send this video out. This is kind of just an update. Hopefully you got some knowledge out of that. Really the important things to remember is use it as an order entry indicator. You know, let it get you into entries. Identify where that 60-10 is. If that 60-10 is trending down or embedded, always take your trade off on your first rotation. If you're embedded to the upside, buy the pullback for a bull flag. Very simple. That's on trending stocks. Everything else is, you know, the divergence, same thing. If you got a nice divergence in a flag, that is our go-to trade. A little pullback divergence and a bigger uptrend is perfect. Here we have a little sell divergence here, a little running sell divergence, I would call that. Right here. It's actually not a bad trade. I'm actually short here. So we'll leave that be. see if it works out. And let me bring it back up on the screen because we're looking at something else. Oh, I'm working on my other stuff too, so I got a lot of things going on here. All right, and we're going to get this out. If you want more information on the RockBot, you can head over to daytradingradio.com, or you can actually get the scripts if you're not a member of daytradingradio.com. Go to the Patreon site. The address is in the description, patreon.com/daytradingradio.